Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Have a story here from the National, but it's also in other papers. But it's the National who have the weird take on it. But we'll look at them, and it's Shona Robinson. She is on her high horse, moaning that Stephen Kerr keeps heckling people, predominantly women. Now, it's a very unusual take, and I can't understand what's going on. Is she saying that nobody should have the right to heckle an MP or an MSP simply by dint of being female? That sounds very sexist to me. And if she doesn't want men heckling females, is she also going to refuse to heckle men when they're talking? Or is it just a one-sided thing that she's after? It seems very odd if you go into politics and then not want to be questioned over the very things you're doing. Weird, isn't it? Now, I do apologise for all the dogs barking. As I said in an earlier video, I've got 4 of the wee buggers today, and somebody's walked past, I think. Yep, 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 yep. But I hope it hasn't distracted. Anyway, we'll take a look at this article to see why Shona is really getting her petticoats in a twist. Here goes. Now, you won't realise this, of course, because it's almost instantaneous between the header section and the main body here. But I've been about 45 minutes in between the two. I've worked, done some hard manual labour. The noise from the dogs was because 2 rather burly men came to the door. They weren't after me. I'd actually paid them to come. They were here to collect a load of waste stuff that I have. I've just spent maybe 40 minutes, let's say, lugging stuff and putting it in the back of the van with them. That's my physical exercise out of the way for the day. But hopefully now they will be quieter. So fingers crossed. Anyway, Shona Robinson accuses Tory MSP of barracking female colleagues. Oh, yes. It's okay to barrack male colleagues, apparently, but not females, in Shona Robinson's really twisted sexist mind. Do you want equality or not, love? Or do you want special dispensation? Is it okay, to only heckle men? Is that what it is? You're saying little, weak, vulnerable women shouldn't be heckled? Sorry, I'm not understanding this, Shona. Do please explain why. The Deputy First Minister said she is fed up with the Tory MSP interrupting mainly female colleagues in Holyrood. No, she's just fed up with being interrupted because what they're saying is so appallingly stupid that people find it riotously funny. Do you know I had a problem there? Mind went completely blank. Anyway, on Tuesday, a row broke out in the chamber after Scottish Greens MSP Maggie Chapman, the maggot, raised concerns about male politicians heckling female MSPs. But Maggie, surely there's no differential between men and women. After all, you're advocating that men can go into women's changing rooms. So why is there suddenly this differentiation? You seem very insecure on this. Is it true that men and women are just the same? That seems to be a policy. Or now there seems to be some kind of difference because maybe you're on the receiving end of it. And all of a sudden, you too are a vulnerable little lady who needs help. She specifically mentioned the behaviour of Tory MSP Stephen Kerr, who she accused of interrupting Public Health Minister Jenny Minto. Or perhaps Jenny Minto was talking a load of old bollocks. She does normally, and that would invite ridicule and interruption. A fierce row broke out soon afterwards, with Kerr later accusing Robinson of saying he was going to fall from a very high place. Now, I'm just going to do a step out for that, because if you go here, and I'm not going to cover this, this is in the Express. Shona Robinson accused of Putin-like threats after she warns Tory MSP he'll fall from a very high place. But it's the sort of thing you expect very much of what the Greens do, really, isn't it? This is the Greens all through and through. The Greens and the SNP. They're all very bother boys in boots, threatening behaviour. But of course, these threats of physical violence from the SNP shouldn't come as a shock. After all, it's how their close identifiers got to power in Germany in the 30s, wasn't it? Threats of a good kicking. Anyway, when asked by the Courier about her comments, Robinson said, the constant barracking of mainly female colleagues by Mr Kerr in his chamber is intolerable, and people are frankly fed up with it. People. By people, do you mean the women concerned? Maybe they should stop talking rubbish. Maybe if they don't like being interrupted and question about the things they're saying, they shouldn't have gone into politics. But if you want to make that sort of sexual dimorphism in the chamber that men can't interrupt women, let's make sure that women can't interrupt men. Let's put women in their place, shall we? Is that what you're saying, Shona? I don't understand it myself. Some of the best politicians around are women, but you're saying that they need some kind of special help because they're not very good. Is that what you're saying? It's very weird stance to take. And she did confirm that Mr. Kerr, that his behaviour and arrogance would lead to him having a very high fall at some point. Yes, she says now, obviously, this was meant metaphorically and politically, not literally. Yeah, you're saying that now. You're walking that back, but you meant that threat of violence, didn't you? We know you did, because you're the SNP. It's what you do. Tory MSP Rachel Hamilton said Robertson should apologise for the remark. Yes, and I think she should. She added, what recourse does the member have to elicit an apology from the Deputy First Minister for this threatening conduct? Isn't it the case that if a member of the public said this to a member of Parliament, it would be viewed as a security issue and investigated by Police Scotland? Yes, it would. So let's investigate this by Police Scotland. I hope Kerr does go for them, does ask them to investigate this threat, and actually has Shona Robertson up and being deeply questioned by HM Plod for the remarks. It would put the fear of God into her, wouldn't it? A spokesperson for Shona Robertson said, because Shona Robertson does not want to come out and address this issue, scared, like others who were challenging Stephen Kerr's behaviour, Shona was fed up of his constant barracking of female members. Her remarks were clearly metaphorical. I don't think they were clearly metaphorical. I think they were a genuine threat on Stephen Kerr's safety, coming from a nasty, vicious, inhuman party. That, indeed, is the case, I feel. And she's trying to walk it back, reverse ferreting it, but she is really a nasty woman, threats and all that. And so what if Kerr is interrupting women? I don't understand why her stance is that he's not allowed to interrupt female politicians, but apparently he is allowed to interrupt men. And it's a very, very strange attitude to take. But let's hope that she does follow suit and she never, ever interrupts a male politician again. If nothing else, it'll stop us listening to her droning on. Thanks very much. We'll round that one off. We'll come up and we'll finish the video. Does Shona not understand what her party's stance on the differences between men and women are? And does she even know how to define what being female means? Seems to be that they don't. They can't say it's an adult human female, can they? That's the one thing they never admit. So I think really, before it start moaning about what Kerr is doing to female colleagues, she could begin by explaining to the room what she defines as female. That'd be interesting to see. Thanks very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.